Hey, what's going on? So in this video, we're going to be going over how to make your first $10,000 plus online selling AI to businesses, specifically service-based businesses. So I put together a ton of things for you guys today that I'm going to run through to teach you guys how you can literally turn around after this video and start building your own AI business and making money online, hopefully quitting your 9 to 5 or making this an additional income stream for you, whatever that may be. Now, I want to show you a bit of credibility behind what I'm going to talk about. So, I've personally been selling AI to businesses for going on a year and a half now. If you go to my main website, scaleagents.io, you'll see a few client results. You can also check out some of our service delivery just to show I've been doing this for a minute. I've been in the online space for about 4 years, but specifically running AI offers to complement the marketing that I used to do for about a year and a half now when AI started to get really hot. But not only have I had success making multiple six figures selling AI to businesses, and I've worked in many sectors coaches, consultants, agency owners. Me and my team has personally delivered on over 200 projects at this point. Not only have we seen success doing this, but we've also helped other people get success doing the same exact thing. So, everything I'm going to be going over today is fully validated. That's really what I'm getting at. See, check it out. Within my private community, one of my students, Kobe, had made 50K when he first dropped this. And since I've spoken with a guy last, he's up at 65K revenue, and he has no technical experience, no background in setting up AI automations, no coding background. So you don't even have to be tech savvy in order to figure it out. And that's why, the nature of AI these days and how you can actually build a business out of it is such like a blue ocean as far as anyone can get into it. Or I'm not going to sit here and run through it, but I have tons of different client KPIs from ad campaigns we've ran that our AI builds acted to complement. I could sit here all day and show you guys a bunch of the cool shit as far as the backend is concerned, but we have plenty of wins and people just making a ton of money doing this. So really what I've been trying to cultivate is the AI mafia, fellow AI killers in the space. So that's kind of what you're seeing here. Or see, even last Sunday, one of our students had a 1.5K pay in full and then $200 per qualified lead that they're yielding them. And then they're doing everything that I'm about to go over today. Okay, so enough theory. So in general, this is like from a very high level, exactly what any AI business model or honestly marketing offer in general, but I'll explain how AI kind of wiggles itself in here. Now, full transparency, I didn't sit here and reinvent the wheel. You've probably seen something like this. One thing I will even say, if you do see someone else that has a similar like format of getting leads, setting appointments, closing deals, this has been around for decades. This whole framework of things, it's really just people repurposing it. Like I know a few popular people like Wyatt Roderick will show something similar to this, or like Serge Guattari. What anyone that's running an AI marketing agency or AI automation agency has in common is we're all delivering in this realm of things when it comes to selling online. We're helping people generate leads. We're helping people procure those leads and book them onto sales appointments or sales consultations. And then finally, we're also facilitating closing deals. Now, I've spent a ton of time specifically in the setting appointment realm of things. And eventually, I realized in order to help buff my service delivery that I should also get into generating leads. In fact, before I even started the AI bit, all I was doing was generating leads, running media buying for clients. Now, you can sit here and build an entire business where you just master one skill. And if you're starting out, that may be a smart place for you to start just so you don't get planning paralysis or more so even have like mediocre delivery if you try to, focus on all cylinders. But all in all, service-based businesses have to generate leads somehow, then procure those leads and book them onto sales calls, right? And since the beginning of time running business, this has been just a sales guy's job or an appointment setter's job, an SDR's job, right? And only recently, AI has been becoming smart enough and capable enough to offload a traditional appointment setter or offload a traditional sales guy. So when I'm coming to business owners now, I'm able to charge thousands of dollars. And the reason they don't laugh at me because it's still cheaper than the sales guy they would have otherwise been paying. It's funny, I recently had a sales call with a guy in which I pitched him 6K for an initial build. And he was like, oh, wow, that's like salary for 1 month for one of my sales guys. And I have 5 sales guys on my team. And I was literally telling him that we could set up an AI build that's capable of having thousands of conversations with leads simultaneously in a given day. And he was completely blown away. He was like, I'm paying an entire sales fleet of guys to just send messages and follow up with leads. And I was explaining to him that the benefit of setting up an AI to set appointments is that there's no such thing as drop off. It's extremely accurate in the sense that we never have a lead that falls off. We're always sending consistent follow ups to people. Every message is custom tailored, and the AI doesn't forget things. It's even cross channel. Anyways, I could sit here glazing the AI all day, right? And that's really the big point of when I do have sales calls with businesses, I'm harping on. So, all that to say, as someone that's made multiple six figures in this space, I'm going to run through the most straightforward way that you can turn around and actually start making money online selling AI to businesses. Now, those client results I showed you, they follow this exact methodology too. You know, I'm not going to sit here and tell you a bunch of cool different things you can try. I'm going to tell you what I am literally doing and what my students are literally doing. You can take it and run with it. Now, let's start out at first with generating leads, getting leads. So, for most businesses, this is going to be, their biggest pain point. And a business is like, really green light at scaling when they already have their lead flow dialed, usually from some sort of ad campaign. All that to say, running ads is a hot topic right now. It's been a hot topic for the past few years, in fact, in which case a lot of people could make money simply being a media buyer, which is someone that runs ads on Instagram and Facebook, right? Now, specifically when it comes to running ads nowadays, it's not rocket science. In fact, media buying is really becoming offloaded by a lot of people overseas. Now, how do you still make an offer out of it? First off, you got to understand that any job that's offloaded overseas, you then have to kind of position yourself as a consultant, the person that's going to be capable of talking to clients. Second off, now that Meta has had the Andromeda update a few months ago, basically meaning they've taken away the autonomy that us as marketers used to have when it comes to how we could position our ads as far as manual placements and all that good stuff and how we're targeting. Don't get me wrong, it's a billion-dollar algorithm. Meta definitely did it because they're gonna make more money in the long run as far as, us having to spend on their algorithm to decide where our ad is gonna go. That being said, how us media buyers can stay valuable is by doing continued creative testing. In fact, every time I work with a new client, this is something we're constantly doing. Now, what does creative testing means? It means pumping out new ad creatives and doing it constantly. Even if you have a really good ad creative and it may be printing right now, I can almost guarantee you if you get complacent and continue to let that run and you never introduce any new variants, then it will likely eventually get creative exhaustion, and then you'll be stuck in a feast or famine scenario where some months you're doing really good because that one ad campaign, but once it dies, then you're playing catch up the next few months trying to figure out which will be the next winning creative. That being said, I'm about to show you a few AI tools that you can turn around and use and literally charge thousands of dollars for. And all you're doing is creating new creatives and then pumping them back into the pipeline on the ad campaign itself. Nowadays we can afford to go broad and use advantage plus targeting when it comes to meta side of things. And then our impact or your impact to your service delivery for your clients is going to be creating these new creatives, right? And the benefit of using AI in order to create ads is if you're doing videos, they're crazy good at sounding human like these days. And if you're doing still frames, you can literally pump them out in an instant. Now, when it comes to AI videos, I'm talking about ARC ads, I'm talking about HeyGen or any other platform like that. And then for still frames, we can run with Sora and ChatGPT all day. So let's dive into it. So this is ARC ads AI. And as you can see here, we have a little bit of an example of a prompt that we're giving to ARC ads. And essentially the idea is it will turn around and spit you out a AI avatar that is reading your script verbatim. So obviously it takes a little bit of tweaking as far as getting the wording right, but this completely accelerates our ability to do creative testing. If you can have, multiple different scripts and quickly pump out a bunch of different content, you can turn around, launch on a campaign and test. Whereas usually if you try to have a human, sit there and record these, or if we have to go through phases of editing, there's a lot of different hoops we can jump through. I found this to be a very effective way to do things, especially if you're dealing with clients that don't want to put their face out there. A lot of times you'll find that UGC ads, what we call them, user generated content ads, do very well at engaging with the viewer, especially if it's hard to tell that the AI is, even an AI, right? Like in this one, we have a
If
guy
you're a real
literally
estate
sitting there.
investor or a property developer in the UK, let me ask you,
I'm not sure if you guys can hear that, but he's literally just sitting there with a mug. And especially if we're going after like property investors, these are likely some older people to
what
where
does
they likely
37
wouldn't even be able to understand or tell that this is an AI, right? My personal favorite one to use is called HeyGen. And I got a few students that use this for their create ad creatives they're running as well. Again, if you're not comfortable putting your face out there, this is a really low hanging fruit that you can get away with doing. And then just to click on some of these, it's crazy how good they are. Check this out.
If you run a financial service-based business that relies on online sales consultations, here's how AI can book you 3 to 5 qualified appointments.
Okay, so you get the point. And so I've also often found that female actors do the best as far as getting a good click through rate. People are more likely to stop and watch it, especially if you have a good pitch and a good hook. Then this can really be everything when it comes to sales rapport and actually like getting your shoe in the door, so to speak, right? So you guys can literally use these tools. HeyGen's about 30 bucks a month. ArcAds is also about 30 bucks a month, and turn around and make winning ad creatives for these businesses, launch them, and now you can charge a couple $1,000s retainer for maintenance and continued management. And you continue to show your worth by introducing new creatives. I recommend, at least introduce a couple new creatives in a given month if they're on low budget, or if they're at higher budget, spending thousands upon upon thousands of dollars on ads in a given month, then I would recommend bumping it up to like weekly creative testing just to stay ahead of the game. Because if you can build an ecosystem with a ton of different creatives, all pushing the same goal, it's going to go a lot further. So, the idea behind creative testing as well, and why you need to introduce a ton of new ads, is because if someone sees the same one ad over and over again, they already know the pitch, or at least they think they do, and so they're likely going to scroll. So, down to having different avatars within the same campaign, multiple different faces will allow the user to stop and kind of watch something fresh and new that they haven't seen before. And that can literally be the difference on like a repeat viewer actually giving your ad time of day, or a viewer seeing the ad, but it's the same actor and they're like, oh, I already know this pitch. And then they scroll and potentially just lost a sale. So these are the two video platforms. And then if you want to create some badass still frames, I recommend you use Sora. Literally just ChatGPT Sora. If you have a ChatGPT account, you also subsequently have a Sora under that same price plan. And what's cool about this, it literally just generates you still frames. Like I can show you guys through some of my still frames that I have here. Here's a solid one that I've created recently. So I literally just prompted it like in the command prompt, explaining exactly what I'm looking for. And then it turned around and spit this out. And as you can see, we even have a revision here where I said, change the part where it says equals and this to add AI. So I essentially just said like, hey, add AI here. Because before it was saying like every day without this equals missed sales calls. I was like, every day without AI means missed sales calls. So it's cool because you can sit here and play with it all day as far as reprompting it. Same, of course, goes for the video ads, but something that I do to fast track it even more, because especially if you're a beginner and you don't know how to properly prompt an AI, what you can do is literally use AI itself to turn around and prompt your Sora. So in this example, I literally told ChatGPT, I'm not going to read through all this, and just know I did like a little voice dictate thing, so it didn't verbatim like hear me exactly. But the idea was I told it exactly what I was looking for in like explicit detail, and it said, "Okay, cool, I'll build you out some scripts." And then cool, I had the scripts, but now I needed like them to be in proper Sora format so that it also understood like the background and the visuals of what we're looking for alongside the script. So then I said, this is supposed to say re-return. I did the dictation thing, but re-return these Sora ready prompts, including any previous guidelines we discussed, so I can copy and paste each of the 5 prompts into Sora, so they'll spit out exactly what I'm looking for. And then it turned out and built out these like Sora prompt code things for me to copy this into, right? So it explains, hey, we're looking for something realistic, photojournalistic style. It explains what the image should look like, the secondary image, the mood we're going for, the style, and then of course the actual copy. So the headline, subheadline, small body line, filter line, all that good stuff. So now I was able to turn around and copy these and print them and paste them directly into Sora, and then it spit me out exactly what I was looking for. Like here's a perfect example of that. So this is going off of one of those ad creatives I was building out where I was looking for a particular ICP. So it followed it to a T. And if I did want any revisions, then I could just edit prompt here, be like, hey, let's make this guy look younger, or let's make this a woman actually instead, or let's make the background brighter instead of this like dark setting that we have. You know, if you can think it, you can build it out with AI. All that to say, a lot of people don't understand. There's still like a knowledge gap in the market that all this stuff is available. So you can literally sell this to business owners that would rather pay you, have their time saved. You can charge a retainer of a couple $1,000s to run their ads for them and build out these new creatives. Okay, perfect. So we just went through running ads. So literally, you can take exactly what I just told you and couple it with the setting appointments part. And then suddenly you're helping with lead generation and also procuring those leads and booking those leads onto sales call. This has been the bread and butter of my agency for a fat minute now. So we'll run ads for some clients, or for other clients, we'll solely set appointments. So there's definitely consulting side. Feel them out on a sales call usually to see everything that they need. But if you're going to exclusively set appointments, you need to target people that already have their lead sources on deck, already dialed, meaning they already have an organic stream. Maybe they have YouTube presence. Maybe they're on social media, Instagram and Facebook, or maybe they have a pre-existing lead list, or they buy lead lists and you can tap into those leads and start conversations. Or my personal favorite is going to be ad traffic streams, just because those often yield high intent leads. All that to say, with all these leads that we're generating from ads, typically it's going to be an appointment setter or a sales guy that's picking up the phone all day and texting leads all day. Now, this is a manual task. It always takes the same level of input for a human. And the worst part is a human's only capable of making one phone call at a time, or typing in one messaging platform at a time with one specific person. And that's really where the AI acts to beat this out at scale. Like I always tell people, if you put one AI versus one human, it's really up in the air who's going to deliver better. Really, we're an automated AI system X to beat out traditional human appointment setter or sales guy is going to be at scale. Once clients start spending thousands of dollars or ads, or if they have hundreds of leads coming through the door in a given month, the AI system can keep up with this volume. There's no such thing as a lead falling through the crack. There's no such thing as a lead that doesn't get followed up on. Everyone's heard. And this is why businesses are actively wanting to work with us. It's because we are providing a huge solution that everyone needs in their business. And the best part is we're saving them money in the long run, right? So it's a win-win situation. So we've been setting up our appointment setting builds using a few different platforms, but typically they're going to be hosted directly on GoHighLevel. If you don't know what GoHighLevel is, I'll open up an account here. So this is a look into a GoHighLevel account. The cool part about this is that we were able to manage all of our leads that come through the door. This is becoming one of the most industry widely accepted CRMs out there. So if you don't know about GoHighLevel, first off, go check out the rest of my YouTube page because I have tons of information on GoHighLevel. But one thing I want to note is that, in my opinion, the best messaging platform to completely automate anyone's business because one, it's very user friendly. What I'm showing you here is a pipeline where the new lead comes to the door, the AI reaches out, who's talking with AI, who's been proposed the call, who's booked in, who canceled, who's a no-show that got re-nurtured. I'm showing you into a sandbox account, but we got client one, lead lost, and no response after follow-ups. Now I'm in a different account. This time is actually for my business. So I have a wait stage before my AI reaches out just to see if the lead books in off their own autonomy. And if they don't, then the AI will reach out and it will continue to follow up with that lead until we can spark a conversation. If the lead replies back to us, they'll be updated to talking with AI, in which case we'll have a little bit more of an in-depth conversation, try to qualify them, make sure they're ready to go, handle any of their objections or frequently asked questions. And then if they make it far enough in the conversation flow where the call is proposed, the booking link is dropped, they'll be updated here. And then, of course, we have all of our leads that have actually booked in the appointment. Now, clients from a front facing standpoint love this. And what I always tell clients is like, hey, you just have to check out your pipeline to see how the AI is doing. And everything as far as the key performance indicators and tracking that we're doing gets updated down to the second things takes place. So clients love this. And as far as the back end side of things that we have to manage as like the marketers, the AI delivers on this, like it is so straightforward to set up a conversational AI build nowadays. Like quite literally, a lot of my students aren't tech savvy. I do have a technical background myself. So I've actually laid out all the groundworks for setting up a bunch of different AI builds to automate any messaging channel. I'm talking SMS, email, Instagram, Facebook, WhatsApp, voice. I've automated all the platforms and I've literally gift wrapped it to what I call the AI toolkit. So if you guys want access to my automations, you can literally get them for $197 a month, turn around and sell them for thousands of dollars. And not only that, but you also get access to me on live weekly calls, as well as an entire community of fellow AI entrepreneurs trying to run it up. Like some of those results I showed with some of my students, they're literally in this community. So if you want to meet like-minded guys as well, tap in. This is for you. So going into one of my sub accounts, so this is what we're doing when we're delivering for clients. And no, we're not using the internal AI agent tool that GoHighLevel has. They white label their AI, meaning for every 1 cent you should be paying cost per message generated, you end up paying 3 or 4 cents. So they scalp you for price. So we're using APIs and webhooks, and we're going straight to the source to OpenAI and getting the cheapest cost per message generated on the market. So we have very lean profit margins, and our clients have very low expenses. So this is a very, very lean system to run, which is awesome. And as you can see, just looking into some of my builds, we're automating SMS. And the way I've set up my builds is they're extremely uniform. So very user friendly. Any of my students that join the community, they get access to all these different templated builds that they can turn around and resell. And honestly, if you have half a brain, they're very straightforward to understand. Like I've done a lot of the groundworks and actually setting these up so that you can turn around and actually leverage them for success. You can even leverage this for your own business. Like for me, I have my own AI that handles all my leads. And it's cool because when I'm on a sales call with leads now, they can kind of see a little bit before the sales call even happens, like how my own AI works that I'm going to then sell them on, right? So if you can imagine, all of the messages will be hosted within GoHighLevel. So GoHighLevel will remain the source of truth for ourselves and our clients as far as how we're nurturing these leads and how we're conversating with them. And then anytime we actually need to have a message with the lead, we're going to pull off platform into a build that looks something like this. This one's hosted on make.com. And essentially what we're doing is we're gathering the reply from the lead. We're giving it directly to OpenAI. So we undercut having to pay GoHighLevel a premium. And this way we only have to pay a fraction of a cent per message generated. And then we pitch it back over to GoHighLevel and we have a memory store. So we're able to keep a running tally of all the leads that we're actively having conversations with. What's cool about these AI builds as well is the way I've personally set mine up. We're capable of of handling double or triple text messages, quadruple text messages for that matter, with the whole intention of it really feeling like a natural, easy flowing conversation with the lead, right? And on top of that, when it comes to these AI appointment setting builds, sales rapport is everything. What I mean by that is I will usually add wait stages, so the lead won't get a reply back from us immediately necessarily. Of course, speed of lead's a thing. Don't get me wrong, but what I mean by that is if we're actively having a conversation with a lead going back and forth, and suddenly they hit us up at 3 a.m. But this build is supposed to be set up in a way where we're mimicking the CEO or we're mimicking the founder. Obviously, the founder is not going to be awake at 3 a.m. So that's going to be a dead giveaway that the lead isn't actually talking to the owner, right? In which case, what we'll do is we'll have a wait stage and the AI won't reply back until 7:45 a.m. the next day. And that's just an example, of course. On some other builds we've done, we do immediate speed of lead, or on some of them, if they reply outside of business hours, we automatically have a message get sent to them, be like, hey, we'll get back to you as soon as we're back in office. But for now, if you want to book in, here's a link to do so. It's custom, but the cool thing about these builds, and especially as you dive deeper into AI automation and the awesome realm that all this has to offer, you'll find that like the world is your oyster as far as all the different automation tools and all the different like use cases you can set up a build like this for. Okay, perfect. Now, the last channel I want to get through is actually closing deals. Now, at this point, we talked about how to generate leads and use AI ads to actually traffic those leads. I went over AI appointment setters and how you can then procure those leads and book them on a sales call so that the business owner or the client you're going after doesn't have to worry about generating leads or booking those leads onto sales calls. And now it comes down to closing deals. So, what I'm going to go over also really does apply a ton to you as an entrepreneur as far as how you can go about closing leads and being a little bit more efficient with your time when it comes to business proposals as well. But before I even get into that, another thing that we do with the setting appointments to help facilitate closed deals is increase their show up rate by having a post booking AI. So after the lead is booked in, we still have an AI that's handling reminders. And if the lead has any questions prior to the sales call, we still have a point of contact. And that goes a long way when it comes to show up rate. And if we can increase one show up rate, we can subsequently increase their ability to close deals. Separately from that, with all my clients that aren't using AI note takers, I always make sure that we have them from any point on working together. And I recommend you guys also get yourselves an AI note taker. I personally am a massive fan of using Fathom. It's free to use. I've literally never paid for it. I only use the base plan and it has done everything that I've ever needed it for. So when you sync it up with your email, it joins on all your calls automatically. So you don't have to worry about recording or taking notes or any of that because the AI does it for you. The really cool part about this is that let's say you take a ton of calls in a given month. The reason I like to have my clients is use this is because once we start booking them appointments, they're taking tons of calls. So if we ever have any questions over a particular client, we already have the recording on it. We can pull the transcript and get up to speed instantly on their inquiry. Or if we want to send some business proposals, what we can do is something like this, which I'll show you now. So what you're looking at here is a recording that I recently just had earlier today, in fact, with a lead that was interested in my offer, in which case we can see some key takeaways of what they're looking for, the topics we discussed, all that good stuff, the price we pitched them. Now, if we click on transcript, we can go and we can click copy transcript. You can literally copy this transcript and paste it into ChatGPT, and then you can take that and you can do a ton of cool things with it. For instance, make business proposals. It's been almost a year since I've actually written up my own business proposal. So what I did is I created a template of how my business proposals are typically structured. And then now what I do is I have my own AI, a business proposal AI, where I just feed it new transcripts. I'm like, hey, here's a new transcript. And then it's like, okay, cool. Based on the lead you talked to, and it spits out something like this that I then copy into Google Docs. I make sure it's formatted properly, and then I publish it into PDF format, and then I send it over to the client. And that's how we go about doing our business proposals right now. This has been a huge one, even for myself personally, to save me time because otherwise I was spending anywhere from 30 minutes to an hour writing these things up. And it's a little bit of a time suck. And a lot of business owners don't even realize that, they may have a bottleneck like this. It's something that I'll also do when it comes to creating summaries, especially if you work with clients that do two call closes. What you can do is set up an automation flow, linking Fathom to something like make.com, in which case you can build summaries automatically out of the substance of this conversation. And so for that next sales call you have, you can be a little more prepared. Another cool reason I really love Fathom, if you're kind of shitty at sales calls or wondering where all your drop off is happening, you can go into ChatGPT, you can go to Explore GPTs, and you can literally find an AI that's a sales rep trainer. Or you can use something like Alex Hormozi's $100 million offers AI build. There's so many different out there. Like if I click Explore and then I do sales trainer, look, so I just randomly found a sales trainer. So I can click start chat And then what we can do from here is you can pull all of your transcripts and be like, hey, could you tell me the pitfalls behind why my sales call didn't go so well, or what I could have done differently to close this guy? Guys, I know I kind of rambled on a little, but hopefully that made sense. So, just to recap, when it comes to generating leads, every service based business owner needs new leads. And what's the fastest way to generate those leads? It's going to be with ads, of course. So, if you add Sora, HeyGen, or Arc ads as part of your service delivery, essentially generating new ads from scratch for them, turn around and push out these new ad creatives for their campaign, you're going to have a ton of value if you can crack the code to ads and continue to get them new leads month over month. If you can couple that with setting appointments using an automated AI appointment setter model like I just showed you, then you can now generate those leads with ads and then procure those leads with messaging conversations on Instagram, on Facebook, WhatsApp, SMS, email, voice, the whole 9 yards. And you can do all this using GoHighLevel and some third-party tools like make.com. And lastly, when it comes to closing leads and really being able to automate and streamline a lot of your calls, I recommend installing Fathom AI. So there's no more guesswork when it comes to like he said, she said in a potential meeting you had. You're able to automate a lot of your business proposals. And even if you have any internal client work, or maybe one of your clients has a lot of meetings they're taking internally, because we can pull the transcript and the substance of all these meetings and get the summary of them, you can manipulate that information in so many ways to help the business owner out or even to help out yourself. So I hope this made sense. And everything I went over is literally what I'm doing for my service delivery for myself and my clients, and how I'm doing 30K a month doing so. If you are interested in getting access to my automations and more importantly, access to live weekly calls with myself and a ton of other killers in the AI space, it's only $197 a month to join right now. We just increased it to $197, so we will increase it again in the future once we get the next batch of people in. So right now is going to be the ground floor cheapest time you're going to get it. So tap in. We'll see you on the inside. And other than that, hope you guys found some value in this video, and I'll see y'all in the next one.